कराउँछ भुइँचालो आउने जस्तो रुखहरू चाहिँ यति हाल्ने नि यतिकै हाल्ने माथिको पक्रो फुटेर आएपछि त हावाले यतिकै हाल्ने अनि
खाले लग्ने होता थुवाला दुई चालक माथि खुब्री जुत्ता माथि गरी थियो नि कनी अरे यो मी नि होता
त्यो बेलामा फेरि
कि चालक समस्या गरी कुन
In 1977, the Mingmo Glacial Lake burst at night. Lakpa and Chitin Sherpa lost their home in the floodwaters. 8 years later, another lake, Diksho, burst, forcing the couple to leave the village.
डुङ भनेको एकदम ठुलो आवाज डुङडुङ भन्ने अनि पुरा कालो न कालो त्यो सबै ढुङ्गा डोडा अब रुखहरू सबै अनि त्यो यो गाउँ नै थर्काउने के यो गाउँ नै डुङ गरेर आवाजै अर्कै सुन्ने के अनि जता जता त्यो खोलाको टुप्पा चाहिँ जान्छ त्यतै खोलाको टुप्पा यता आयो कि यताको बङ्गै निकाल्ने यहाँबाट फेरि फरक्कै उता फर्किने उताको बङ्गै निकाल्ने त्यसै गरी यो ठाउँमा पहिला एकदम यो गाउँ चाहिँ साह्रै राम्रो थियो अहिले यो पोखरी फुटेकोले गर्दा यो सबै पहिरो देख्ने कारण थियो.
The Dikcho lake burst destroyed the almost completed electric power plant of Thamo. The location of the proposed power plant is now a huge scar.
लग्यो नि सर अब त्यहाँ बनाउँदै गर्दा पारी पुरा इन्टेक बनाएर त्यो पोखरीहरू बनाएर हेलिप्याडहरू बनाएर पुरा त्यो पानी जाने त्यो पुरा सिमेन्ट र ढुङ्गाले पुरा डलन गरेर पुरा पानी जाने ठाउँ साह्रै राम्रो ठाउँ बनाएको थियो पुल दुईटा लग्यो सबै बिजुली बनाउँदै गरेर सबै लग्यो नि त सर.
The seemingly arid top surface here resembles a minefield inside. It is warming up every day, causing ice to melt faster. The settlement of Chukung sits on similar terrain. Further up north lies one of the world's fastest melting glaciers, which is causing the Imja Lake to expand. Scientists say the water surface is expanding by 74 meters every year and holds about 30 million cubic meters of water. The lake flows into the Dudkoshi River that passes by Dingboche village, 7.5 kilometers downstream. The floodwaters will take just 13 minutes and 9 seconds to cover this distance in the event of a lake burst.
टुरिज्म गर्नेदेखि लिएर चाहिँ होटल व्यवसाय गर्नेदेखि लिएर चाहिँ खेती गर्नेदेखि लिएर चाहिँ अरबौँको चाहिँ नोक्सान हुन्छ र युम्जो जस्तो चाहिँ फुट्यो भने हामीले 1-2 वर्ष चाहिँ नेपालमा टुरिस्ट नचलाए पनि एभरेस्ट रिजनमा चाहिँ टुरिस्ट चलाउनै सम्भव छैन.
Khumjung is one of the best-known mountain villages in the Nepal Himalaya. The spring tourism season has just ended, and the residents of the entire Khumbu region in the foothills of Mount Everest are meeting. The gathering was an opportunity to talk about how changes in natural environment have been affecting them on a day-to-day basis.
तर यो हिमालमा हिउँ देखिँदैन अहिले हिउँ देखिँदैन सबै यो पक्लेर गइराछ तर हिमालमा हिउँ नहुनु भनेको यो हाम्रो मात्र समस्या होइन यो संसारको समस्या हो हामीलाई त इन्जा आउँछ भनेर रात दिन त खोलाको तीरमा बस्ने मान्छेहरुलाई त रात दिन निन्द्रै लाग्न छाडिसक्यो अरे अब त इन्जा आउँछ भनेर कहिले आउने हो तर हामी यहाँ बस्ने जनतालाई त हाम्रो त घरबार बगाउँछ खेतीपाती बगाउँछ हामीले खाने चामल बगाउँछ आलु बगाउँछ अनि हामी चाहिँ कहाँ गएर बस्ने.
This was the first time the people were meeting to discuss climate and the environment. It was organized by the local youth who had begun noticing the melting of glaciers while glacial lakes had begun to expand. The locals used the opportunity to put aside individual differences and discuss safety measures in case of floods resulting from a lake burst.
हृदयदेखि नै धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छौँ।
Students had also turned up in large numbers for a fair organized alongside the meeting. They organized an exhibition of their compositions and artwork that were aimed at raising awareness about climate change. About 2,000 people attended the meeting and fair at Kumjung. After talking about the threats of climate change on mountain communities, they took some time off for fun. An awareness-building marathon was organized a day before the fair.
108.
The race began at the Imja Lake, which is said to be one that faces the danger of an outburst. Imja Lake is located at an altitude of 5,010 meters. Scientists say, in the event of an outburst, the flood waters will rush down a distance of 35 kilometers in just 47 minutes, with waves as high as 6 to 8 meters. A flood resulting from an outburst would wash away most of the villages on the banks of the Imja and Tutkoshi rivers in the Mount Everest region, including the trekking trails and bridges. According to a 2001 report of the International Center for Integrated Mountain Development, ICIMOD, the Nepal Himalaya has 2,323 glacial lakes, of which about 20 are listed as those facing the threat of an outburst. In all, about 130 runners took part in the run from the Imja Lake to Kumjung. Most of the runners were locals. The objective of the race was to take the locals to the lake in order to build awareness about how it was expanding and the possible threats that an outburst could cause. The runners covered a distance of 35 kilometers. The fastest runner covered the distance in 3 hours and 21 minutes.
इन्जा ताल फुटेर आयो भने कति छिटो चाहिँ यहाँ आउन रहेछ अनि त्यो पानीसँग हाम्रो फास्टेस्ट रनर कम्पेयर गर्यो भने त्यो रनरले पनि जित्न सक्दैन भनेपछि यो प्रब्लमबाट हामी भाग्न सक्दैनौं यो प्रब्लममा हामीले ट्याकल गर्नै पर्छ
Dawa Stephen Sherpa had initiated the race, which was organized by the local youth. He has scaled Mount Everest twice and has seen how global warming is affecting the ice caps.
As you can see all around us, there's ice and snow and glaciers. But it's predicted that by 40 years, all this will have melted away. Not only will this be a loss for us mountaineers, this is a treasure for us, but it is also a vital necessity for billions of people who depend upon these glaciers for water.
Dawa Sherpa has a very successful family business in tourism. Some would say he might have already amassed enough wealth a person would need for one good life. But spending is just not what is in the mind of the 25-year-old. He's seen how the mountain environment is changing and knows it will affect his fortunes. Rather than sit back and worry, he has decided to try and influence, reverse, or delay the problems caused by climate change and environmental degradation. Since 2007, Sherpa has been bringing down trash left behind on Mount Everest. So far, he has brought down 7 tons of non-degradable waste from the mountain.
25, 30 years, they said it was the hottest year ever. And then the next year, they say it was the hottest year again. And then this year, it was the hottest year. So every year is getting hotter and hotter. एकदम हामी आफै पहिला रेडी हुनु पर्यो. हामीलाई इस्युको बारेमा थाहा हुनु पर्यो, त्यसको सल्युसनको बारेमा थाहा हुनु पर्यो. अनि त्यहाँबाट मात्रै हामी गभर्नमेन्टमा गएर तपाईले चाहिँ यो बारेमा कुरा गर्नु पर्यो किनभने त्यस्तो नराम्रोसँग त्यहाँनिर आइस मेल्ट भएर गइसक्यो.
He also promotes green technology and eco villages. Efficient fuel use can help influence change taking place somewhere high up in the mountains, where anything to hold on to can make a difference. Nepal is a tiny country in the Himalayas. An overwhelming majority of Nepalese depend on traditional agriculture and natural resources for livelihood. Therefore, a small change in the climate, delayed rains or higher temperatures can have far-reaching impacts on the lives of the Nepalese. The impacts of climate change in the mountains have implications on the livelihoods in the lower valleys and plains. This year, farmers did not get adequate rain during June-July, which is the paddy planting season. Not long ago, Asar Pandra used to be a story of celebration, wet and soggy, mud and the planting of rice paddy. The ritual still lives, but something has changed. Today's chief guest, Bamdev Gautam, now in politics after leading farmers all his life, has arrived. And so have these tankers that would have otherwise been supplying drinking water in the town.
आज असार 15 धुमधाम झरी लाग्नुपर्ने र हिलो चाहिँ हुनुपर्ने ठाउँमा हामीले यो धुलोमा उभिएर अहिले कार्यक्रम सञ्चालन गरिरहेका छौं. बाहिरबाट पानी चाहिँ ल्याएर यो लाक्षणिक कार्यक्रम हामीले सम्पन्न गर्यौं.
Godam Chaur did have a rupai that day, even without the rains. But Bhakunde Besi, about 50 kilometers east, did not even have tankers and politicians to help keep their spirits high. Rather than wait for the rains, some had already decided to take a chance on corn.
पानी नभएर हजुर पानी छैन धानलाई त पानी चाहियो बाँध राख्नुभन्दा मकै छरिदिउँ भनेर
यिनीहरूबाट झिकेर नि पोहोर चाहिँ नि बिउ आएन अहिले बिउ बिसाएर ल्याएर रोप्यौँ होइन अब अहिले पनि नरोपे त आगो पनि बिसाउनु पऱ्यो भनेपछि त एउटा गरेर मात्रै रोप्न पाए भने आगोलाई बिउ त हुने भयो नि 2-4
Some put seedlings to earth using tankers to bring water. Others used well water to sow the seedlings. Still others decided it was futile to sow paddy and opted to try out corn. That needs less water. Less rainfall in the lower hills and less water in the rivers does not only affect the lowlands. Food grown here is also supplied to the mountains. Low paddy production in the lower reaches of the Himalayan rivers would mean higher prices for the grain in the mountain villages.